Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All goes Sri Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Hemang Mati, when are you ready? You can start Mati.
Sure, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Today we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 47, text 29 to 42. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudire नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामीति नाम्ने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Text 29. The Supreme Lord said, "You are never actually separated from me, for I am the soul of all creation. Just as the elements of nature, ether, air, fire, water, and earth, are present in every created thing, so I am present within everyone's mind, life, air, and senses, and also within the physical elements and the modes of material nature. By myself I create, sustain, and withdraw myself within myself by the power of my personal energy, which comprises the material elements, the senses, and the modes of nature." Text 31. Being composed of pure consciousness or knowledge, the soul is distinct from everything material and is uninvolved in the entanglements of the modes of nature. We can perceive the soul through the three functions of material nature, known as wakefulness, sleep, and deep sleep. As a person just arisen from sleep may continue to meditate on a dream, even though it is illusionary, so by the agency of the mind, one meditates on the sense objects which the senses can then obtain. Therefore, one should become fully alert and bring the mind under control. According to intelligent authorities, this is the ultimate conclusion of all the Vedas, as well as all practice of yoga, sankhya, renunciation, austerity, sense control, and truthfulness, just as the sea in the ultimate destination of all rivers. But the actual reason why I, the beloved object of your sight, have stepped away from you is that I wanted to intensify your meditation upon me and thus draw your minds closer to me. When her lover is far away, a woman thinks of him more than when he is present before her. Because your minds are totally absorbed in me and free from all other entangled engagement, you remember me always, and so you'll very soon have me again in your presence. Although some gopis had to remain in the cowherd village and so could not join the rasa dance to support with me at night in the forest, they were nonetheless fortunate. Indeed, they turned me by thinking of my potent pastime. Text 38, Sukadeva Goswami said, "The women of Braja were pleased to hear this message from their dearmost Krishna. His words having revived their memory, they addressed Uddhava as follows. The Gopi said, it is very good that Kamsa, the enemy of persecutor of the Yadus, has now been killed, along with his followers. And it is also very good that Lord Achyuta is living happily in the company of his well-wishing friends and relatives, whose every desire is now fulfilled. Gentle Uddhava is the elder brother of Gada, now bestowing on the city woman the pleasure that actually belonged to us. We suppose those ladies worship him with generous glances full of affectionate shy smiles. Text 41. Sri Krishna is expert in all kinds of conjugal affairs and is the darling of the city woman. How can he not become entangled now that he is constantly adored by their enchanting words and gesture? Text 42. O saintly one, does Govinda ever remember us during his conversation with the city woman? Does he ever mention us village girl as he freely talks with them? Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mayank Mataji. Hare Krishna. Sri Krishna Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisance, Prabhu. All goes Sri Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Whenever you're ready, you can start, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Sundaram Prabhu. Thank you, Hemangi Mataji, for reading Srimad Bhagavatam today. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yogam Sikshashramekam Purusha Puranam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Sariradari Kripamudittamaham Prapadye. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langete girum yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Shri Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So today we are seeing this section where Uddhava is visiting Vrindavan, and he's basically upon the request of Krishna, he's taking personally the message of Krishna. So this is there are different ways the messages are carried. This is the most intimate way of carrying a message. So just like Lord Krishna sends a message, not Lord Krishna, the mother um, Rukmini sends a message to Lord Krishna in the hands of a Brahmana. So he personally carries the letter, and then he gives it to Lord Krishna it's very intimate. So similarly, Lord Krishna also considers gopis' love is unparalleled, and he wants to console them. So he sends Uddhava with this personal message, and he's carrying, the whole purpose of Uddhava's visit is to relay that message and pacify his dear devotees. So now at this point, the gopis, Uddhava's has a special message to gopis, which is now being relayed, is going to be relayed by Uddhava. So yesterday, you've seen how Uddhava was glorifying the gopis and how they were actually uh, actually way above their devotion is very, very high standards, and the spontaneous devotion they have, um, the amount of unparalleled love they have and pure devotion for the Lord. He was very much surprised, and he was also glorifying gopis. Uh, and he's also mentioned, relayed. He was basically saying that how that's a great fortune, how these gopis have attained such a unparalleled love for Krishna. And now at this time, they were anxiously waiting for the message that Lord Krishna has sent. Now that he is sufficiently glorified, now Uddhava was saying, please hear this beloved's message. Is very confidential. Uh, and he is now relaying the message, starting from verse number 29. So here you can see it says Bhagavan Vacha, is basically Lord Krishna spoke personally. So here, Bhavatinam Viyogame Nahi Sarvatmano Kvachit. So Krishna is starting with some philosophy about Atma and Paramatma and his identity. Later on, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains about all this. So, so here Krishna is basically saying how he is the Aham Atma Gudakesha. In the Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says he is the soul, of the entire cosmic manifestation. So he is so here also Krishna says, I am the soul of all creation. So he is basically the soul of the entire creation, and all of the Panchabhutas, which are, in the Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says, Bhumi Rapo Nalo Vayu Kam Mano Buddhi Revacha Ahankara Iti Mayam Binna Prakritir Astada. So these are all the separated energies of Krishna, which is Krishna's own energies. But he says Binna Prakritir Astada, it's a separated energy. And then he says there is superior energy, that is basically the soul, which is superior energy. So here Krishna says that the whole cosmic manifestation, he is actually the soul of the entire cosmic manifestation, meaning that every living entity is very much part and parcel of Krishna. So, and then Krishna says that here, uh, I am present within everyone's mind, life, air, and senses, and also within the physical elements and the modes of material nature. So, it's a very, very philosophical statement. So, Krishna is basically, according to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, this philosophical language conceals a very deeper meaning. So, Krishna secretly telling gopis that by the way of reciprocating their special love for him, he was present before them, not only as the soul of all creation, but also as their special lover. So, in this verse, the guna indicates that gopis had divine qualities which Krishna was getting attracted towards. So, the Lord does not actually get attracted by, the so-called attraction of this material world. So, in the material world, we get attracted by physical beauty, wealth, strength, knowledge. But in the spiritual world, even though these things are attractive, but Lord actually gets attracted by the divine qualities, the qualities of a devotee. So, which is what here is mentioned. The gopis have these divine qualities which were actually attracting the Lord. So, Sarvatmana, which here it is says Sarvatmana, where it is in reference to Lord Krishna himself. And it is said that is also understood in the sense of Sarvata or completely. So, so in other words, even though Lord Krishna was not physically present in Vrindavan, he is absent, but he is not completely absent. So, because his spiritual form is always in the hearts and minds of gopis. So that's why initially I could never understand. And if you go to Vrindavana, people, devotees, the Vrajavasis say Krishna never leaves Vrindavan, which I never understood. After reading Srimad Bhagavatam, we get a glimpse of what actually it means that Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. So, so Krishna, Prabhupada also elaborately explains that Lord Krishna separated from the gopis basically to intensify their love. And then even Uddhava also is mentioning to basically bless other devotees by revealing that the intensity of gopis' love to them also. Right now, Uddhava is in Vrindavan, and he is also astonished how much love the gopis have, how much now the Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda have. So he is astonished. In fact, he is teaching Uddhava by giving him association of Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda, and the gopis. So basically, Lord is giving everyone an opportunity to understand the love of gopis and also to glorify them. And also, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur kind of points out that some people, foolish commentators, they might think Krishna is teaching gopis how to become liberated by giving some philosophy. Actually, that's not the truth. The truth is gopis were very exalted. They're most exalted, liberated souls, and their pastimes with Krishna has to be understood by the authorized acharyas. So when the gopis came for rasa dance, and Krishna was trying to preach them karma yoga, but they were actually above the ordinary ethics and morality. They were actually on a spontaneous devotion level, so that could not satisfy them. Now Krishna is offering metaphysical philosophy or jnana yoga, but this is also not sufficient for the gopis because they are on the Raganuga Bhakti. They are on the unalloyed platform of love of Krishna. So that is the essence that Vishnath Chakravarti Thakur is unpacking for us. So now Lord Krishna is going on further and explaining about some of his potencies of Atma Maya, how the Lord's personal energy, that he creates everything, he maintains, and also he destroys by his own personal Atma Maya Anubhavena. So he's mentioning is about his mystic power, and how the entire cosmic manifestation, including the material elements, the Panchabhutas, the senses, and the modes of nature, everything is contained within him. So, and then Krishna goes on to explain about the pure consciousness, knowledge, or knowledge, and how the soul is completely distinct, from everything material. So this is also Jadu when he explains to Rahugana, he mentions this point. He says that whatever theoretically you say, everything is actually of no value, because soul is completely different from the everything else, is unique, is completely different. So that's what Jadu Bharat's realization, and he gives that realization to Rahugana. So here also Lord Krishna is saying the same fact, and it is not entangled in, is completely uninvolved in the modes of nature. So the soul is basically just witnessing everything through the mind, intelligence, the senses. It's just perceiving different different states of consciousness. This we can perceive the soul through different states of consciousness, and fully awake, wakefulness, sleep, and deep sleep. Slumber, like say. So we can perceive somebody says, how can we perceive the soul? We can tell, this point is from the Shastra. And Krishna says that one has to actually understand that soul is distinct from the body, and come to control. The one, like Krishna says that in the Bhagavad Gita, that the soul is the topmost on the hierarchy. Indriyani parani ahur indriyabhyo param manaha manasustu para buddhir yo buddhe parastu sa. So the soul is the topmost. So we have to come to understand that the soul has to be controlling the mind, intelligence, and the senses. Then everything is aligned properly. So until one comes to that point, then Krishna says here that he is not really enlightened. So, and therefore Krishna concludes, therefore one should become fully alert and bring the mind under control. So, and then Krishna goes on to explain all this philosophy, and he says that how um, different yoga, Sankhya, renunciation, and sense control, all of this is basically the purpose is, to achieve the ultimate conclusion of Vedas. Just like that, all the rivers, their actually destination is sea, right? Ocean. Sometimes people mention this, like all the rivers, there may be multiple channels, but everybody has to reach the ocean. So Krishna also saying that you could perfect yourself, but the real perfection is how one should become fully alert and bring the mind under control. So, and then come to the full consciousness, Krishna consciousness. So Prabhupada used to call Krishna consciousness because that is the highest consciousness. One can actually see himself that he is not the body, he's spirit soul, and the soul takes the complete hierarchical control. So here, in the purport, Prabhupada also, Prabhupada disciples, they explain that how the whole Vedic literature is meant to bring the soul to the point of controlling the mind and senses and fix them in transcendental self-realization. Basically, Savai Mana Krishna Padara Vandayo Vasamsi Vaikunta Gunanvarne. So just to fixing that mind and senses in the lotus feet of Krishna and always thinking about him is actually basically the highest realization one can have. The gopis were actually on that on that platform where they could not actually take their mind away from Krishna. Always thinking of Krishna in separation. So that is the reason they are highest. The love, spontaneous love for gopis is considered highest. So, and then here it's concluded that so the process of so-called yoga, mysticism, or religion that involve unrestricted sense gratification is actually not spiritual process. So on the other side, if you go to some yoga practice, they give you tell you that you can do, all of this sense enjoyment doesn't matter. You can still make progress. That is actually bogus, hoppus, in Prabhupada's language, hodgepodge, he used to say hodgepodge, anything goes. So that is not really self-realization. So now the Lord Krishna is assuring that gopis, by fixing their minds in self-realization, they will realize their spiritual oneness with the Lord. They will no longer suffer the pangs of separation. So, which they are already doing it, but the Lord is actually emphasizing that and giving that message to all of us. So one time Prabhupada disciple, he was asking this question I think in Russia, I believe. So he was asking Prabhupada, sometimes some you say in the classes that we have to uh, we have to how can I actually feel the separation of the Lord? We also have this knowledge that Lord is everywhere. The Lord is even in the atom, Paramanu. Brahma also says, Ekopi yacho rachitam jagadanda kotim yakshakti jagadanda chayadadanta andantarastu paramanu chayantrastum govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. The Lord is everywhere. He's also in the atom. He's how can we feel separation from him? How and then Prabhupada's answer was very simple. He said the time will come that you will understand. He didn't basically say anything more than that. He said keep practicing, keep doing your sadhana bhakti. The time will come that you will understand that you will feel separation from the Lord. So basically it's an advanced stage we cannot imitate. It has to be naturally, spontaneously coming from the heart. So that was Prabhupada's point. So here, and then Krishna also saying that the reason why um, he has stayed away because he wanted to intensify their meditation and draw their minds closer to him. So here says, Manasa Sannikarsha Artham Mat Anudhyana Kamyaya. So Anudhyana means meditation mat upon Krishna. So that was his Krishna's desire why he stayed away from gopis. When Krishna does an activity, there are multiple reasons. Krishna, so this is one of the reason, so Krishna is mentioning here to bring gopis closer to him on the spiritual platform. So and then Krishna goes on and saying that how uh, he is also giving an example. Yatha durachare preste दुराचरे प्रस्ते मन अविश्य वर्तते स्त्रीणाम चना तथा इच्छेत सनिकृस्ते akrishik gochare. So he's saying when a stree means when a lover woman is when lover is far away, a woman thinks of him more than when he is present before her. So this is the nature of the woman, it seems. So Krishna is pointing out this fact. Um, So, and then the Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur points out the same holds true for men also. So, for men also, when the lover is far away, uh, in his absorption in thinking becomes more intense. This thing. So, so this is the spiritual aspect of love and separation. This cannot be understood. This cannot be appreciated in the material context, but this is a spiritual context one has to understand. So, and then Krishna says that because your minds are totally absorbed in me, free from other engagement, you remember me always, so you will very soon have me again in your presence. So, so the gopis already at a very elevated state that they were in separation, Vipralamba mood. They were always thinking of the Lord. They were, in fact, in the coming verses, you can see that even they're asking the other animals in the forest, the bees, where is Krishna? What is he doing? So because of their absorption, they were doing all this. They were enacting Krishna's pastimes. So which is what in the temple we are also trying to do, right? So we are doing dramas, trying to enact Krishna's pastimes and decorating Lord Krishna, Radharani's murtis, deities with a wonderful jewels and flowers. All of that is just to one purpose, to meditate, intensify our meditation, glorification of Lord Krishna, so that we can also come to the point of spontaneously thinking Krishna. So that is the whole purpose. So we just had Ratha Yatra, Lord Jagannath was giving darshan, Balram and Subhadra Maharani. So they wanted to give an opportunity for everyone to basically come to that state of coming out of this material entanglement, suffering, and they can take the blessings of the Lord and remove the cycle of birth and death, samsara chakra. So here, although in during the rasa dance, Lord Krishna, when he was playing the flute, not all the gopis could actually join Krishna. Some of the gopis could not even leave the house. The doors were locked. Even those also were able to serve the Lord in separation. They by thinking of the Lord, his pastimes, and they are also become very fortunate. So, so here also Krishna is saying, indeed, alabdha rasaha kalyanyo mapur mad virya chintaya. So this because of their concentration, uh, and intense thinking, they also actually got the mercy of Lord Krishna. So, and then finally, Sukadeva Goswami is now saying Sukha Uvacha. So he's saying how uh, the gopis were very pleased, very, very pleased to hear the Lord Krishna's message. And this is more pleasing because Uddhava, who is a dearmost devotee of Lord Krishna, is personally relaying that message. This is even much more pleasing. Now the Uddhava addressed, he's addressing gopis. Uh, um, so now the gopis are actually addressing Uddhava. So in return, so Gopi Uchuhu, now gopis were basically now whatever is in their heart, they were saying, now they are saying that Lord Krishna is already uh, killed Kamsa, who is the enemies of Edus, and now he is happily living in the company of his friends and relatives, his mother Devaki and Vasudev. All of his desires is now fulfilled. Indirectly, they were saying, when is when is Lord Krishna coming? So and then they're also asking Uddhava. He's addressing Kachit Gadagraja Saumya. So they were addressing here. Gadagraja means the elder brother of Gada. It's actually one of the Krishna's other names. And then they were saying Uddhava as Saumya or gentle one. And then now saying that now Krishna is bestowing his pleasure uh, on the women of Mathura, which are actually that actually belong to us. So and then they were basically directly asking Uddhava when is Lord Krishna is coming, and they're intensifying the thoughts of Krishna. So now, in the further coming verses, we could see that how the gopis were going deeper and deeper and trying to ask even the bees about whereabouts of Krishna. So, so finally, in the last two verses, 41 and 42, so here um, the gopis were saying that how Lord Krishna is the darling of he's become a darling of city women. Now we are just the village girls. He has left us. Now he has very sophisticated gopis in the Mathura. It's basically Mathura looks like Mathura is considered like a city with all the nice buildings and skyscrapers and like that. The Vrindavan is considered like an ordinary village. Now they are just teasing that how that Krishna has now got attracted, like even and then the last verse for today, verse number 42. So here is saying, does Govinda prastuta kvachit. So that Lord Krishna, does he remember us? Does he talk about us? Does he mention about us? Gramyas swaira katantare. So, he's saying Gramya means we are just a village girls. Does he even talk about us? So they are basically trying to remember Krishna and tease Krishna because they have such close relationship. They can even tease Krishna like this. So Hare Krishna, this concludes the today's verse. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavvranda ki jai, Grantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhu bhevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.